gentlemen, welcome back to the Johnny Mandolin Show. Guess what? It's Artie again. I am back for a third week. And today we are actually having a fantastic guest, DJ Nino Brown. We're going to talk cigars. We're going to talk entertainment. And we're going to talk much, 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 much more here on City World Radio. So here we are. Last two episodes, we had a cigar center talk about a cigar company, how it moves forward, how it's created. Our second episode focused on history. And today, I actually brought in a good buddy of mine, DJ Nino Brown, so we can discuss cigars and entertainment. Nino, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Man, I'm really, really glad we get to discuss this with you because Nino is actually not only one of the premier cigar DJs here in the city, but he's also a very, very avid cigar smoker with a fantastic palate. Nino, why don't you just introduce yourself really quickly?
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is DJ Nino Brown, NYC. I'm based out of Queens, New York, and I DJ primarily cigar events, but I do all types of events in the city, but that's my passion is cigars and music. Put the two things together that you love and combine them and have a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and actually, before I met you, I didn't realize that there was, like so many cigar events here in the city. But mostly, what kind of events do you usually do? Like, are they mostly rooftops, at lounges? Like, where can people find you?
Well, unfortunately, New York is very challenging when it comes to doing cigar events. The venues, you're limited with how many spaces you can actually do. Now that the spring and summertime is approaching, the options become limitless because I could basically utilize any type of rooftop or open air or a park or a boat ride and have smoking out.
Okay. And so, like, let's say over these last several years, how long have you been doing this for?
I started DJing in 2005, but I didn't really take it seriously until 2011.
Can you remember your first? Oh,
absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about that. How did you first?
So I remember every set because I'm a sober DJ.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I make sure I know what's going on.
This is one of my only friends that's actually sober. Just want to let everybody know.
Yeah, I only get high on the cigars. That's about it. I'll never forget the first event. I was in Astoria, Queens. It was a place called Albona, which basically is translation for a town in Croatia called Labin. It was a Croatian place, and the guy was cool. He used to let us, party in there, whatever. He didn't really care. And he let me DJ one night, and within 3 songs, I got nervous. I got, tensed up. I was playing, nonsense, like Sean Paul, Nina Sky, and then, I was just I told my boy, I was like, I can't do this. let me do another night. So like my first official night was a New Year's Eve party at a friend of mine's house. It was actually a Russian guy. And within an hour, my set was over because I blew the fuse in my mixer. I had these girls. I went to the bathroom, and I come back, and they're like, DJ, and they're like playing with my stuff. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? You got to get off. They're like, no, we're having fun. And like a douche, I thought, okay, I'm going to pull the plug, and I'm going to laugh at them. No, I blew the fuse. The night was over. So that was my first set. Within an hour, it was over. But I remember the first song. First song I played was Cassidy, I'm a Hustler.
Well, you know what? That makes sense because that's a song. What year was this?
That was 04 going into 05.
Everybody was listening to that shit back then, you know, because that song got a lot of people out of bed in the morning, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it really did.
So now, since those are actually like the two times that you ended up DJing, did you like mess around with music before that as well, or was that just somebody just threw you on a set and you kind of like did a little thing here or there, or did you actually kind of know what you were doing when this happened?
So unfortunately, you know, I wasn't really good at playing instruments, and I tried every instrument. It just didn't have the attention, but I had the love for music so much that I was like, how can I still be a part of this music thing, but still have some type of input on it? So I was like, DJing is probably the easiest, but it's not easy because it takes years and years to master your craft. But I said, this is my route. I'm gonna go.
But is this something? So I know right now. And you do these live videos that I love. I check them out sometimes. Where you have this like, what would you call it? A man cave, a smoke cave?
See, I don't want to call it a man cave because I invite women over there as well.
Okay, fair enough.
So you have to have equal rights when it comes to stuff like that. No, and so I basically named the smoke room.
No.
La Casa di Nino Brown. So I wanted to have an Italian feel to it because I'm Sicilian and you got to represent the culture.
Of course. Yeah, and so you do these like interesting little sets there live on the radio. I always enjoy them. Sometimes when I'm on the train, I throw them on. And so what I'm saying is when you weren't before you started like doing it at an actual event, did you have some sort of program at home that you messed around with?
I mean, not necessarily.
Or was that your first like kind of like attempt at any sort of DJing or music?
No, I mean, it's like because I had a lot of buddies of mine that always DJed in like these European bars where they like let us in underage and we were able to just like mess around. But back then,
I see.
It was CD turntables. It wasn't digital like it is now. You really had to have skill to DJ.
So when I think DJ, right? There's vinyl.
Okay.
Right? That's old school, obviously. Right?
It's old school, yes.
So now the whole thing is like a lot of DJs, they call them like iPhone DJs, right? They could DJ right from their phone.
Unfortunately,
and that's what you're talking about when you talk about digital. But I have no idea what you mean by CD. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It's basically exactly what it is. You have two decks, and you load in CDs, and you match the beats per minute, you know, and
I see.
You adjust it with the jog wheels that they have, and it's basically what a record would be, but you're just using it in a CD format.
And I know I'm going to sound like an idiot, but you can't scratch that or anything, right?
It depends which turntables you're using. If you use Pioneer CDJs, you could scratch them, absolutely.
So you can actually scratch with CDs?
100%.
Wow, I had no idea. I thought it was only
and
with
they
vinyl.
Still, to this day, Pioneer and Denon, those are like the two big cogs of companies. It's still set up like a CD turntable, but they don't use it for CDs anymore. They use it for Serato or Tractor or Virtual DJ.
So they kind of just well, we have another winner. There you go, everybody clap, whatever. So so yeah, that's our doorbell, excuse me. But so what you're saying is it's pretty much you have two CDs, let's say two different albums, and you pretty much load one up, then you open another one, then you make them flow perfectly. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah. It's all the same concept from record to CD to laptop DJing. It's all the same.
And do you have you ever actually? So you said CDs, but have you ever actually worked with vinyl before?
I work with vinyl, but I like to keep it at home because I don't get paid enough money to bring it out.
I see. So why is it bulkier or what?
Well, think about it. Back in the day, you had to hire a rodeo, kind of a guy to help you out. Bring the milk crates full of records. You're looking at a minimum of 4 to 5 crates you got to bring to a gig.
I see.
And then on top of that, some of these gigs don't even have equipment. So now you got to bring these 45-pound Technique turntables or whatever you use.
Just like a logistics problem.
Yeah, so you got to bring this coffin that weighs 200 pounds. It's a pain in the
Have
ass.
you ever had anybody request? So you do have the equipment, yes?
Absolutely,
Have
and
you ever-
I do sound rental as well.
Have you ever? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
Have you ever had that requested? Like, hey, I want you to bring some of the vinyls in, or that?
Yeah, and I've had that requested all the time from like people that are over 40, and then I remind them, "Are you paying me?" And then they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, you got to pay me for the inconvenience."
Of course, yeah. Because the way you make it sound like a way.
It
more
is.
bigger
It is
hassle.
literally. You had to have the skill back then, and you had to have the patience and strength, because a lot of DJs back then, they were kind of jacked. Now it's like you see a whole bunch of artists. Well, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this. So, I got a little background about where you started and how you began and kind of where your mindset was when you started. Now, I want to jump forward a little bit and I want to ask you, what's the biggest, like, what's the most memorable party? When was that? What was that one event?
I don't know where to start.
Where the crowd? No. I know you must have a top 10, but try to give me, if you can't do one, tell me two. Like, what was the most bumping party that you ever worked?
Oh man, I mean, I had a good time when I went down to West Baltimore. I do a block party down there. It's sponsored by Red Bull. You get about like 1,500 people that come to that block party. It's pretty crazy. It wraps around the block. I mean, it's really insane. A lot of cigar smokers down there too. Shout out to Baltimore. I really love the cigar culture down there. A lot of love down there. A lot of people in transit. They're from New York, so they contacted me like, "Yo, come down, do this block party." I was like, "All right." No problem.
I'm not okay. So here's the thing: when I'm thinking block party, I'm thinking like, I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn,
Okay, so
right?
nice
And
that
that's like a quite quaint event, not too energetic, maybe, some face painting or whatever, a bouncy castle. I'm guessing this is not the type of party you're talking about.
No,
Red
it's not
Bull.
like that. No.
I'm guessing it's just a bunch of like a bunch of alcohol. Is there like alcohol or what?
I mean, there was some people that brought their own liquor and stuff, but basically the organizer of the town, my friend Troy, he has a barbershop there. And basically he cooks for the whole town. They get like these 2 big barbecues. They're just cooking chicken all day. They got salads and stuff. They basically feed the whole town for free. Red Bull sponsors it, so they kick back a lot of the money, which is great. They raise money for the neighborhood, community groups, because there's a lot of troubles down there. But
Is this a yearly thing or how does this?
yeah,
work?
they do this once a year, so I'll be back down there September 7th.
Nice.
We're doing
Nice,
another. This
nice,
will be
nice.
my 4th year in a row.
Well,
So-
listen, if we have any listeners out there in the region, please make sure you stop by. It sounds like an awesome event, and according to Nino, it's his favorite thing to do throughout the whole year. Is that what I'm understanding?
I get so much love down there. I mean, I love New York, but New York is a tough critic. Some of these people, they really expect the world.
On that note, actually, my follow-up question was going to be, tell me what, because you must have had this one show where you kind of don't want to talk about it. I want you to tell me about that one.
I talk about everything.
Okay, so tell me about the worst.
Oh man, I mean, there's like one a year.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. You must have a list of them, but I want you to tell me which one, you wake up at night sweating and panting that, brings back memories.
I mean, I'm drawing a blank right now, to be honest with
Really?
you, because I try to forget those as soon as possible. I mean, I almost threw a guy into a pool one time.
Tell me about that.
Oh, this guy! I was doing. This is a family's house.
Mm-hmm.
This is my cousin, his girl's house. This guy just keeps coming up to me. He's harassing me. He's like, "Yo, play this. What are you playing this? Why are you playing this? Why don't you play this song for my girl?" And I'm just like, "Oh, my man, you're drunk. Like, just go that way." And it got to the point where I was just like, "Listen, I'm gonna put the turntable down right now, and I'm gonna throw you in this effing pool. I don't care. Okay? I do this because I love this. This is my passion. Please don't treat me like I'm like a towel boy. Like, come on,
Yeah.
you think I just showed up here for my good looks, which I did not. I came here to play music. Let me do my job. Do I come to your job and tell you how to do your job? No.
Of course.
It's insane. Sometimes there's blatant disrespect out here. They don't know the preparation that goes into this. It's crazy.
Yeah, so you're saying that there's a problem with hecklers when it comes to DJing.
There's always that one guy or that one girl that will come up to you and just say the dumbest crap in the world. And it's just like, why are you even here?
Well, so you have obviously that one dude that just wouldn't leave it alone. But how do you usually deal with hecklers? Just tell them to fuck off, or are you a nice?
Oh, I could curse.
Of course. Oh, you
Oh,
can
I
fucking
didn't know.
curse.
Oh,
yeah,
this
is
guy
this
over
is
here.
online radio, baby. we
Oh,
can do
man,
whatever
this-
the fuck we want.
Oh man, this guy! I wanted to break his effing face. I mean, this is terrible, man. Oh,
Yeah.
It's terrible. No, usually how I handle it is either like if I'm working in a nightclub, it's good because you got security. They just take them out. It's easy. I mean, there's been times where I've backhanded people out. I've pushed people out of the DJ booth, drop kicked them.
Whoa.
I've even done a
Wait,
headline.
stop. Tell me about the drop kick.
I mean, it depends. Like this.
I want to know about the drop kick.
There's certain booths where you're at where it's like it's kind of elevated and like people just come up and it's just an easy money shot.
So you
just hold the sides, just bang, just get him the fuck out.
You just this has sparted him off the.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was spilling crap all over the place. I mean, I can't have
electronics. It makes sense. Yeah,
can't have that. I had a girl one night on New Year's Eve. I'll never forget this.
Mm-hmm.
She spilled her champagne all over my mixer, ruined the whole thing. The BPMs were jumping. Like the tempo of the music basically was all over the place. I go to take this out. The way this DJ booth was set up, it was like kind of like there was like a cushion thing to the left of me, and it was like, damn man, she like fell into the booth. And I'm like, what the hell? I go to help her out. I'm like, hey, are you okay? And she's like, oh, get your hands off of me. I was like,
God.
bitch, are you fucking kidding me? I took her from her shoulders and I threw her into the wall. And I told the security, get her the fuck out of here. Out.
Yeah. And I just want to make sure that you understand. DJ Nino Brown is an equal opportunity. He'll kick out a man or a woman.
I really could care less. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
some of these people out here, they get so drunk and savage, they don't know what they're doing, and there's no respect.
So okay, quick question. So this woman, she ruined your what was it, mixer?
Yeah, it was at the time I was using a controller. Yeah.
And so who's responsible for that? Is that a loss on your end, or does the club or the place that you're working reimburse you?
I mean,
Is it her responsibility? Whose responsibility falls?
I mean, technically it's her responsibility, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to like hound somebody that like broke something. It should be the club's responsibility because they let this idiot in.
Yeah.
Does
Does it happen often?
Very rarely, luckily, because I set up a perimeter.
I see.
The way this club was set up, there was no perimeter. It was like I was basically in the middle of the dance floor.
So, the way you make it sound, you work many different kinds of venues. You do outside venues, clubs, indoor venues, probably, a couple of weddings and birthdays on the side for the right price, right?
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite? Which one of those categories is your favorite? And I know there's a bunch more that I probably missed that is probably might be your favorite. I mean, is it safe to say the outdoor venues are your favorite?
Listen, if it's a cigar event, I don't care where it is.
Those are
Okay,
your favorite,
it could
huh?
be in the worst neighborhood in the world. I want to be there. It could be the worst ventilation. I want to be there. Like I just love cigar events because there's no vibe that can match that.
Real quick, you obviously didn't start as the cigar DJ, right?
No.
Tell me how that happened.
This is a crazy story. So it's like once I started taking the DJing seriously in 2011, I used to hang out at this store, Cigar Inn, which is now called Casa de Monte Cristo on 2nd Avenue and 53rd Street. And there was an owner over there named Bass who used to run the shop, and they would have DJs there from time to time. There was already a culture built on Friday nights by this guy, Dave McCoy. Shout out to New York Road to Sex and the City, and Kevin Signor. They set up a pretty much like a movement, a party on Friday night where cigar people would get together and they would do events. And I kind of saw like an opportunity there to like, I could DJ at this place. Because I wasn't really getting a lot of work at the time, and I was like, I knew I could DJ. It's just nobody gives you work. So I asked the owner, I was like, hey, can I DJ here on Fridays? He's like, I didn't even know you were a DJ. I was like, damn, okay, well, give me a shot. He gave me a shot one night, and dude, the rest was history.
Are we talking about Bass here?
We're talking about Bass.
So real quick, just want to point out, Bass is actually Billy and Gus's third brother that wasn't on the show.
Yes.
Correct? Is that right?
I think they have 4 brothers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, there's a fourth one, Jesus.
Yes. Yella.
Could you imagine? So, what? Just also want to clarify. So, he mentioned the cigar on 53rd. That's actually where I work. Well, not at that one. I work at 73rd, but they're now Casa de Monte Cristo. That's actually how I met you, right? So
pretty much. Yeah.
You right now, even though that's where you started DJing, you come to the 73rd one where I work, and that's how we got to.
Yes, because my whole thing is if I want to just go relax and have a smoke and be around all people I know, I go to 73rd Street. It's a great place to watch an event. It's just a good place to network as well, take care of business, even work on music there sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen you work.
I come there early enough in the day where I just put the headphones on and just get to work.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, that Second Avenue spot, that was exciting times.
I didn't know that's where it started.
That's exactly where it started. Yeah,
and then I guess people would come to those parties. They would see you and they'd be like, "Hey, you smoke cigars and you DJ. You want to do this thing? You want to do that thing?"
It pretty much is a trickle down effect.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's it's great to know. So listen, what I want to ask you is, you have been doing this for such a long time, and what I want to know is, you must have a piece of equipment that is your favorite. Can you tell me what is your oldest piece of equipment, and which one do you like? Because, like, for instance, I have cigars, right? I have a shitload of cigars, and I have cigars that I find are like more like not for smoking, just for having as like an antique. Right, and those are my favorites. Like, what do you got like that? You must have something. Was it your first? Was it something you bought just as a novelty? Tell me about that.
I mean, I did a wedding for a friend of mine, and I told him, I was like, "Cuz, I can't charge you for this wedding. I'm only gonna do like an hour set." I'm like, "Do you still have those Technique 1200s in your basement?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Yeah, I think I still do, but they're damaged." I was like, "Well, let's see what we can do with them." Mm-hmm. All right, so don't even pay me for the wedding. Just give me your turntables. Now, mind you, these turntables, I could sell them if I want, $800 each.
Yeah, can you tell us what exactly, what's the significance? What are they? Tell me more about those turntables, because I have no clue.
Okay, so the company's called Techniques, which is also Pioneer. That's record players, basically, but it's magnetic drive, so you could scratch with them.
So when you say scratch, is that we're talking vinyl?
You could scratch vinyl with them, or you could do digital DJing with them.
So how old is that?
The original ones came out in, I think, 78 originally. And the ones I have are actually from 1998. But basically the design hasn't really changed. I think it changed in 2015 because there was a time in the 2000s where vinyl DJing and that kind of idea, it was not even existent. Like, people couldn't give it away. And then all of a sudden, with the resurgence of like the retro culture, people like that stuff.
You're absolutely right. Listen, I'm just remember. So I used to go to Brooklyn Tech here in downtown Brooklyn, and I remember I found 2 giant crates of like Wu-Tang albums, Nas albums, Ludacris, like all this good R. Kelly, even though, fuck those albums.
R
who? Just a bunch of these really, really cool albums. And I was always wondering to myself, like, who would throw this shit away? And they actually did work. My friend had a vinyl player.
Were they warped?
They worked. I don't know if they were warped. Like I said, I'm not really a pro at this.
They weren't like water damaged. Like
no.
Wow.
It was great. I did get rid of most of them, but I know I still have a Wu-Tang album left because Wu-Tang Clan ain't none to fuck with.
That's right. Cream all day. I mean, there's a documentary coming out in May on Showtime
about Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. I think it's like May 9th and May 10th. It's 2 episodes. It might be 2 hours each, maybe. It's a lot to ingest.
Is it about like just their history or whatever?
It's about like the origins of the 10 members. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's funny. Wu-Tang Clan has so many damn members, but I feel like they were able to pull it off somehow.
Because individually they were successful as well as collaboratively.
They did a great job marketing their brand because honestly, there's. I feel like Wu-Tang's they've been doing this since the 80s. Am I right?
They started, I think, 90s? In the early 90s.
90s,
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so and their brand has still been kicking ass. Like I certainly know who Wu-Tang is, the clan, and they've even gotten into movies and stuff. Like, tell me, have you seen Man with Iron Fist?
Absolutely.
Have you? Surprisingly, it's like, it's obviously such a ridiculous movie, but since it's RZA, it's like you can't stop watching it, and rewatching it and rewatching it,
But did you know that movie Ghost Dog? That was like kind of the first movie that they touched on.
Tell me about it. I don't know what that is.
That's with Forrest Whitaker. It's kind of an interesting movie. It's like a black samurai hitman who works for the mafia in Jersey. And, dude, it's insane. Definitely right up your alley. And there is a scene where I think RZA he walks by him, he says hello to him, and then he also produced the whole album for the movie. So it's just fire. I would definitely check it out.
Let me ask you this, and I know I usually don't like to get a little political, right? But let me ask you this: do you think so? The Wu-Tang Clan had this whole they obviously were inspired by the Asian culture a lot.
Yes.
Right? Do you think something like that would work nowadays? Like, for instance, let's say, I don't know, I can't. Well, whatever. Let's say African American rapper that starts, has a more Asian name and using Asian type of music and all that stuff. You think that would work nowadays?
I don't see what wouldn't work nowadays. I mean, there's some comedies now, like, think about, like, Tropic Thunder. Would that work nowadays?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think, it's funny. Like,
But nobody says nothing about that.
Yeah, and even, like, The Office. What's Michael Scott, who played Michael Scott. Can't believe I forgot his name.
You got the wrong guy.
Steve Carell. Even Steve Carell said, like, I can't do The Office again because of this. You know what I mean? But it's funny how, since this was during the 90s where people really didn't give a shit about anything, I gotta say. People were very open about it.
I don't think it's that they didn't give a shit. It's just it wasn't as out in the open as it is now.
Yeah.
Nobody had smartphones.
Yeah.
Nobody had the internet. Like, people had the internet, but it was like you had to wait 10 minutes to get online. It was ridiculous.
Exactly.
And if someone called your house, you were offline.
Yeah.
So it's like, forget about it.
Yeah,
The information now, it's literally at your fingertips. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, what the real issue is.
Yeah, it's almost like they got grandfathered in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Wu-Tang is it's quite a...
But you remember the 90s, like, that was a whole thing, even like the movie Rush Hour. Like, that was Asian influenced.
Hell yeah. Listen, half the jokes that he made in that Chris Tucker made in that movie, they probably wouldn't make nowadays.
Hey, listen, shout out to Chris Tucker, man. I'm glad you made those jokes.
Yeah. Like, for instance, we're not, we're never going to have a season 3 of the Chappelle Show ever.
No.
Oh, and that's such
I don't think they can afford it. How about that?
And can I tell you something? You know what really blows my mind? The generation that I feel is, like, getting the most offended is the one that grew up on, like, South Park and Family Guy.
Which is, like, pretty much the most
which
offensive.
Which I don't get. Like, you know what I mean?
I think that kids are just more conscious now. That's all it is. And then they've also been sensitized a little bit.
But I mean, see, I told you I didn't want to get political. Now this whole thing changed, man.
Hey,
now
listen, this is your show. I
know.
I know
man.
you came.
I know. No.
I don't have to tell you, pal.
No, this is on.
You don't want to hear it from me because I say it all the time. Generation soft.
Yes. Anyway, let's switch topics because I know what we could fill the next 30 minutes with this, but I don't want to start shitting on people on the live radio.
Yeah, why not?
So let's get back to music. So pretty much,
cool.
We talked about your, the events that you enjoy the most, the events that you enjoy the least. What kind of work do you find yourself doing the most? Like, what's your most common type of job? Is it the rooftop parties that you're talking about? Is it birthdays, weddings? What makes Nino Brown all his money?
I do have a residency on Thursdays.
Oh, yeah, tell us about that.
So I work at a place called Sky Room. It's a rooftop on 40th Street, 8th Avenue. I'm there every Thursday from 5 to 10. And it's pretty much an open format, like just a chill vibe. It's a rooftop. You can't smoke cigars up there, though. But other than that, it's a cool spot. Like, you want to do corporate events. So that's like my bread and butter. I'm there every Thursday, rain, shine. If I'm sick, I'm there.
So, guys, tell the people the address. Tell them where they can find you. So, if you ever want
to the address is 330 West 40th Street. It's right next to the Port Authority. And there's no cover. We do a fashion show also every Thursday, 9:30. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like,
interesting.
They always have different designers, and they're always showing off some cool stuff.
So how many hours? How many hours is your set?
That's a 5-hour set.
Oh, 5 hours. So yeah, let's talk about that real quick. How does it work? Bathroom breaks, and if you like, do you set up a song and then quickly run away, or do you have to stay there for all 5 hours, or everything crumbles?
Honestly, it's kind of dicey. You got to pick and choose. So like, if the place is really jumping and you're really into your set, you're gonna probably not even think about going to the bathroom because the adrenaline takes over, and you really got you're controlling the room, the vibe. But if you really got to go, then you find that song that's at least 5 minutes long. You do what you got to do. You might have to bump a couple people on the way, but you get that. And you surprisingly, I always find time to come back.
Well, let me ask you. I bet this also has a multi-answer. Like there are different things you could say about this. But right now, as of right now, let's say 2019. What's really bumping? Like, what do you play like when you want to get the mood elevated? You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, it really comes down to where you're working, what people you're dealing with. So the reason why I like the cigar crowd a lot compared to the younger generation is because I'm more relatable to the music of the cigar crowd. They're going to want to hear 80s and 90s hip-hop. They're going to want to hear 90s reggae. They want to hear real music. Music that has substance and meaning. And I'm not saying that the new stuff doesn't have that.
I am.
Fine, you could say that. But there's still stuff you could play new now. But that's not also why I like being very eclectic. Like, I got into DJing to play trance, to be honest with you.
Really?
And to play house. I'm more of an electronic type of guy, but as the years have gone on, I've gotten into the soul, the funk, the R&B.
So as far as okay, and you're still a fan of trance, I'm guessing, yes?
Yes, I am.
What artists inspire you?
From back in the day, or like?
You know
man.
what? Fuck it. Yeah, no. Let's do both. Tell me one that you enjoyed back in the day. Tell me what you like that's new.
Like, give me ATB. Give me, man, there's so many. Torture.
Never heard of that one.
Early Armin van Buuren. Even Armin van Helden. Like I'll take all of that. Like, I'm good with early Tiesto. I'm good with that. Dead Mouse. Like, there's quite a few artists from back in the day. Like, there was really some good stuff. There's a couple names that are not coming to my head right now, but
so what's the new banger that came out?
Oh man, there's so many. Because now it's like there's so much. Because now it's not just like the way the genres are set up. It's so like just wide.
All right, let's say right now we cut, which we're not going to do, but let's say we cut and we played one song for the people. What do you want to play?
Oh my God, it's like there's like this bass house that I listen to now. The artist is not coming to my head right now, but I got it off of Tachabi's SoundCloud, and it's just like hard. Like, I just like.
Yeah, a lot of bass, so it's like.
Yeah, it's like 125 BPM, so it's really just like.
Kind of like a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's just the sounds are very abstract. It just makes you want to dance and shuffle.
What is so as a DJ? You use headphones, you use speakers. What's your favorite medium to listen to music in your personal life? Like, when you're not working, let's say you just want to be in the crib smoking a cigar, are you going to wear headphones or are you going to play it on the speakers? What do you like?
I mean, at home, I'm kind of limited with what I could do because of my neighbors and stuff.
No, I didn't think of
that. Honestly, I just plug in my 8-inch QSC speakers and I play them as loud as I want to play them. You know, so it's just I have the treble very low and I'm good. It's basically like it's a regular monitor, but you can use it as a PA.
Well, what's the point of having a low treble? Why does that make it better?
I don't like things to sound screaming. I don't want the air to be like, I want it to be.
I see, and that's what the treble does. It kind of like takes away some of the static.
Yeah, I mean, you're still gonna have the static is the clarity. I mean, the treble is totally. That's just the air. That's the highs in the song.
I see.
And then there's the mids. You want to have that right in the middle. You don't want to have too high, too low.
And these are all things you actually manipulate while you're working, while you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because every once in a while I'll step out of a DJ booth and I'll go listen to hear how it sounds out there. I don't want anybody to come up to me and be like, "Listen, Nino, it don't sound too good. It's a little screechy. It's a little loud. You know, I can't talk." I want to have it where it's at a perfect balance, where it's just loud enough that I can still talk to you in this volume.
This volume?
At this volume, yeah.
Really?
Not screaming at you, no.
Really?
Now, of course, there's nights where the music has to go to a certain level. That's it. It's just, I don't really care at that point. Because I'm not going to compromise the energy in the room because, it's too loud.
I'm not going to lie. I love it when it like rattles my brain. You know what I mean? I like it loud. But I don't know. That's personal. I understand what you're saying, though. If you're playing a lot of, if you're working a lot of formal events, especially places where people play, smoking cigars, it's not like, oh, another winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
So if you're playing a place where people are, like, smoking cigars, obviously cigar smoking is a very casual activity, so you're going to want people to talk. And now that I think about it, I kind of do understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know what? Every once in a while, those cigar events, they will turn up.
Really?
It'll just be that part of the night. I guess maybe the liquor kicks in or something, or maybe the cigar finally got them to that high or something, and they're going in.
On that note, let's jump in a little bit into cigars. Now, I'm fairly aware of your flavor profile, what you like to smoke. What I know is you're very flexible, but right now, what's really like what's getting you excited in the cigar world? What are you smoking that you really like, makes you salivate? You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, I don't get excited anymore because I've been smoking cigars for 15 years. It's kind of tough because I've kind of smoked almost everything.
So there's really nothing right now where, like, let's say you were to walk into my shop right now, what would you go for?
If you guys had it. Sorry, shots fired. Shots fired. They'll have it soon.
Yeah. Which one?
Right now the cigar that I really like is the Heredia Estrelli.
Herrera Estelí, Drew Estate one.
The Drew Estate one, but it's the Black Label Miami.
Oh, Yeah, I've been trying to get those Miamis. They're really limited. It's really
Yeah, I
tough to
mean,
find
the
them outside
turquoise
of
one
Florida.
is good, but that black label, it just...
Just to let people know, the turquoise Herrera still is the Brazilian Maduro
Brazilian
wrapper.
Maduro, yes.
Yeah. But you know what? I do agree with you. I like the original Habano wrapper a little bit better. I don't know why. Even though I'm a big fan of Brazilian tobacco, especially in wrappers, for some reason this time the original just has a little more depth. Even though the Brazilian Maduro is flavorful, it doesn't have that complexity that I like in my cigars.
Yeah, I know you love that leather.
I love the leather.
Yeah.
How as far as like cigars, tell the people really quickly what's your range? Because I'm gonna say you're a more medium to full guy. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't want to, like, it really depends on the day. It's like just the way, like, I judge the room with DJing. It's the same thing as how I'm feeling with my day. You got to make sure you eat something before you smoke. Just letting you know that. You don't want to smoke on an empty stomach.
So you're not a fan of, like, let's say in the morning having a nice mild cigar with a coffee. You need to have food.
In the morning, it's different. Like, if you gave me an underground shade, I would smoke that in the morning. If you gave me, like, Oliva, what's the series?
Which one?
The Connecticut one they have?
Connecticut Reserve.
Connecticut Reserve, I would smoke that.
That is fire. I love that cigar.
Yeah, in the morning.
You
Maybe
know
like a nub, you know?
the Connecticut nub.
Yeah,
That's
cappuccino
another-
nub.
That's the cappuccino with a coffee. I've never done that. I've never had a infused cigar with the coffee. That's probably worth
That's
a
one
try.
of the few infused cigars that I'll actually, like, give the time of day.
Really?
I feel like they put a lot of emphasis into their cigar.
So
Not that Java does it or these other companies don't. It's just there's something about that nub. You know, it's nice. It's pleasant flavor.
You know, that's interesting. I didn't know that you were a fan of flavored stuff. I always thought you were more of a traditional guy.
So when I first started smoking cigars, there was this heavy set bouncer that I used to be friends with. This guy was like a house. Like, I would not mess with this guy. His name was Hev, like, literally. I worked with him up in Yonkers, and he used to smoke these wafer-thin Javas.
With the wafers. That's literally what they're called.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is so thin, it's like a popsicle stick, a little wider.
It's literally spelled WAFR.
Wow. Way far.
Yeah.
So he was smoking these. I'm like, yo, these things smell good. But I was like, wait a minute, you're smoking a flavored cigar. What's up with that? Nah, trust me, Nino. This is Maduro. This is good stuff. They infuse the coffee beans. It's like they do like this 6-month process of aging. It's pretty dope. So he put me on to that. I was just like, yo, these things are good. So remember, me and my cousin Anthony, we used to smoke them in the morning all the time.
A lot of people actually started with flavored, as did I. I smoked a lot of Javas and a lot of acids when I started. Funny enough, I'm not really a flavored guy myself, but I don't drink often. You know me as more of a smoker. But when I do drink and when I do get to a certain level, those little blondies, man, I could puff one of those
Acid
down.
blondies.
Yeah, bro. I swear
Oh,
there's something about
you
it. It's
sissy
like
Mary.
I don't care. It's like I'm eating a candy. Who cares, man? It brings the child out in me. You know.
That's
what
why
I'm
I
saying?
draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
I draw the line. There.
Funny enough, another one, man. We're just having so many winners today.
Winner,
so
chicken
listen, this is the time. This is the plug. This is called the plug hour. So right now, I'm gonna plug a cigar actually that we just got in at my store.
Okay.
And the reason I want to talk about it is because I'm quite fascinated by it myself. It's called the Ripcord. It's a acid that was made actually just for the Altadis brand. You know, so they have them only at JR, and they also only carry them in the Casa de Monte Cristos, and it's apparently a reblended like blondie. It smells very sweet. I haven't had it yet, but I'm excited to try it. It looks really nice. Got the orange band. So
Nice.
I didn't realize that Drew Estate was making like custom acids, but apparently we got our own. So yeah, if you guys are into the acids, give that one a go. I heard it's really really delicious, and it's not too pricey either.
Nice. Look forward to that.
Yeah. Actually, probably my next review. Actually, I'm going to do something really special. This is actually a time when I want to do a quick shout out because one of my buddies, the Bearded Vet on Instagram, he went over to the Bahamas and he actually got me what was it, Grey Cliff. Have you heard of Grey Cliff?
Oh yeah, I actually visited Grey Cliff when I went to Nassau. They have a store. It's beautiful. They had a girl there. She looked like Rihanna. She helped me out. It was really nice.
Yeah, his name is Derek F. And on Instagram, you can find him as Bearded Vet 716. And even just the packaging, just the boxes that they were in, they looked so awesome. They weren't the prettiest cigars, right? They didn't look like they didn't have that perfect sheen or whatever, but
No.
the bit of rusticness to them actually made them way more appealing. Very
It's a
beautiful.
reflection of their estate because
Yeah,
their
yeah.
estate is like it's got to be 300 years old.
And Derek, I really appreciate it because it's something I would never have been able to get my hands on. So that's the next cigar I'm going to review. By the way, if you guys want to check out my reviews, you can go on Ashhole NYC on Instagram. That's HOLENYC. And I do one about maybe five a week. I might take a break 1 or 2 days, especially when I do the show. Yeah, and so next one is going to be one of those Gray Cliffs, and then after that I'm doing the Ripcord because I've never done it in a few
Now,
cigar
if I'm not mistaken, the Gray Cliffs are Havana seed.
Yes, they are. And interestingly enough, there's also don't quote me on the story here, right? Because this is a bit of word of mouth type stuff, but they have so Fidel Castro's roller or something left Cuba and then went to the Bahamas, to Nassau, and he rolled a bunch of Cuban tobacco that he bought with him for the Great Cliff hotel, was it?
They have like an
They have a
estate
estate
there.
or something.
Yeah.
And apparently they have those boxes for like what is it, 10 grand for a box of 10 or something. That have been aged since like the 70s or 80s or something.
Hey, why
shit
not,
like
man?
that.
Imagine a plume on there.
Yeah. I just actually so I got my hand on a nice vintage cigar recently. I don't know if I told you. I probably did because when I'm at the
because you're a
store,
junkie whore when it comes to
exactly.
cigars.
But I got my hands on one of those Cuban Davidoffs. You ever had
You showed me that.
You ever had a chance to ever try one of those?
When am I going to have a chance to try one of
Who
those?
knows, man? I know people who say they've ran across them. But so Davidoff actually left Cuba in '91 because they weren't happy with the quality control, which kind of makes sense unless you're smoking like a regional edition or something that's over $15. You're usually going to get something that might has a third of a chance of being plugged. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's more than a third.
Yeah.
I mean, forget it, bro.
By
It's
the way,
terrible.
dude, so check this out. There's one brand that I have, as of recently, I've tried it, but before that I haven't tried it. It's called Quai d'Orsay. Do you know about Quai d'Orsay?
I do not.
Okay, let me tell you about it then. So it's pretty much a brand that was specifically made for the president of France and French diplomats. And over the last several years, they actually mass-produced several of them, and they started selling them. And the source that I get my Cubans from finally got them, so ordered a box. You will be having one of those after this show. It is delicious. They are actually, if I'm not mistaken, oh man, so many winners today. So they're actually made in the Cohiba factory, if I'm not mistaken. That might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But they certainly do taste the same, and so far I've been having a great time with them. Nice. That's what's actually been happening a lot in Cuba, I've noticed. They've been kind of like releasing their limited edition stuff a little bit more often. You know what I mean? Like the Quai d'Orsays and the Trinidads were also made specifically for diplomats, but they started mass-producing those as well. What Cuban do you fancy?
If I get my hands on a Partagas D number 4, I'm pretty happy. What's it, E number 2?
So you're a big fan of Partagas?
Yeah, it's like I never go wrong with them. Like it's always a good time. And then our buddies a couple days ago gave me a Ramona Lotus.
Which one?
I don't remember the size. It was small. It was
probably the specially selected. Are you talking about Nova and Nas? Yeah. So these two guys we know, they always smoke the Ramone specially selected. That's their favorite one.
Yeah, that was really nice. And then I'm not too complex when it comes to that. Like, give me an Epicure 2. I'm cool with that.
Ooh.
What's that Hoya they have? The Hoya de Monterrey. It's like a Churchill size.
So there's two. There's the Churchill, and then there's the Corona Double, which is a bit fatter.
Yeah, so it's definitely the Churchill. I enjoy that one as well.
Did it have a different band?
It's definitely a different band.
Yeah, so that's the Corona Double, actually. The Churchill has the exact same band as the Epicure 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Corona Double has that, it's like an X, right?
Yeah, it's definitely an X.
Yes, yeah, that's what that was.
Oh,
yeah, that
God.
one's, I have a couple of those in my collection.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, those are really, really, really tasty.
Find me one of those, man.
Now, since we're talking about Cubans, I don't know if you heard about this, but Trump recently actually is planning to reverse all the kind of things that Obama did. So pretty much he wants to stop direct flights from JFK Havana.
I heard he wants to stop Cuban baseball players.
Yeah,
playing
and also, I don't know if this is going to affect really because obviously, I've spoken about this before on the show that getting Cuban cigars into America has gotten extremely easy. Like past all the political stuff. And
was it ever really that hard?
It was.
I mean,
No.
In my lifetime, I mean.
No, probably not. But I know that there's
because I always know a guy that knows a guy.
Of course. There's a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
That's right. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Florio's back in the day.
By the way, we do have since we are doing those offensive accents, we have tons of Italian listeners. Yeah,
really?
This is also broadcasted.
Yeah, Bonavasco. Right?
This is also.
I hope you guys had a good Easter.
Italian World Radio, is that what it is? What's the?
Oh, his other state.
Yeah.
Mi chiamo Antonino Rocco Strada. Grazie.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much it's going to be much more difficult. I'm wondering how that's going to affect the packages coming into the U.S. From like Switzerland and where else, Spain, wherever they ship them from. You know what I mean? It might, because it's been easy. Nobody really. I must have ordered.
I mean, isn't there more important things going on?
There are, but as far as we're talking about the cigar world, this is really what's been.
Why do they keep
me up.
attacking the cigar world? I mean,
well, it's not. For this one, I think it's a bit personal. I think that he's just trying to he has such an agenda against Obama that he's just trying to reverse whatever Obama did.
Is it Obama or is it Cuba? Because you can't put a hotel over there.
I think it's Obama.
Come on, we have a nice Trump Tower in Cuba. That'd be dope.
I really do think that it's that, because what's the point of doing this? It wasn't harming anybody. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Cubans are not hostile at all.
But he's not a cigar guy, right?
No, he's not. He's not.
So I don't know what his agenda would be.
Did I ever tell you I have these two cigars? It's actually, since we're on the topic, perfect time to mention. They're called the Gurkha Trump Presidentes. Okay. I told you about those?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Gurkha makes a lot of expensive cigars.
Yeah. So just for the listeners at home, this is actually a cigar that was made specifically for Trump's inauguration and was given out as his inaugural dinner. There were only 2,017 of them made.
Honestly, I think one of my boys has that.
Yeah, it's possible, because there was...
My boy, I think, Wade, if you're listening, you have that cigar? Let me know.
Yeah, because there was... Because trust me, I don't know Trump and I don't know anybody in government, but there was a small sliver of time where whatever was left over, they sold online, and it was there and it was gone. And
I mean, it's a collector's item.
Yeah, a couple of them went.
If you don't like them, if you like them, regardless, that's pretty dope that they made X amount of cigars.
Yeah, I don't personally. I don't give a shit. Either way, I'm just going to age them for 10 years, and then I'm going to sell them to a Republican who wants to live out the heydays once again. You know,
that's
what I mean?
Right, baby.
For like $3,000, like, hey, remember Trump? Remember the wall? Check out what I got.
Yeah,
give me $1,000, no problem. Take myself a vacation.
Oh man, we just lost 40% of our listeners.
Probably.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
buddy.
It's
funny. Johnny Mandolin, the guy that runs the show, he's right now traveling, and he's probably he actually gave me next week's show, but I think I'm about to get a text from him right now, like, hey, buddy, I'm sorry, we're cutting you off.
You're done. You're done.
It's over.
Yeah.
I want to tell you this interesting little story. So, the source that I order by, I actually ordered from a website, right? ihavehonest.com. You're aware of that website? I think I've told you about it.
Yeah.
So for Easter, they had this thing called a mystery box. So I literally paid $3. Don't have no fucking idea what it is. I'll find out when it comes in.
What's in the mystery box?
They don't tell you. They just say, we got a mystery box, and I swear I know it was a sales thing.
They gave you banana peels.
They could have gave me banana peels, man. But I don't know. It's obviously a sales technique. They obviously just wanted people who have a gambling personality, you know what I mean, to just throw the dice and, oh, man, they got me so good.
Gambling is horrible, bro. That's all I got to say.
I ordered one right away. I was like, okay, you know what? I love surprises. This is going to be great. $83. Could be like you said, banana peels, maybe some Partagas, who knows? I mean, but like,
you'll be lucky if it's that.
Yeah, I'm super. Maybe some Bahiques, who the fuck knows? So tell me, I remember you gave me a couple of cigars, and there's one that really stands out that I smoked that was really tasty, but I keep forgetting about where it's from. The Chief. Tell me about the Chief. Do you remember that one?
Oh, that's a friend of mine out in Lynbrook. My friend Kenny, he owns a cigar shop in Lynbrook. It's called Habana Hut Station. So I believe that it's a Mexican and San Andreas wrapper. Mm-hmm. I'm not entirely sure about the filler and the binder. But, it's a very great, flavorful smoke. I mean, it's got a nice little spice kick to it.
It was the box press, which I really
Yeah, they
enjoy.
They make box press as well.
What is your favorite size?
My favorite size, I mean, honestly, if I'm doing a long set, I want a Churchill. Because I know I'm going to be there for a few hours. I want something that's going to last me. Honestly, like a Toro. I'm good with a Toro.
A Toro, so okay.
But not a big ring gauge. I don't want anything over 6.
You don't like those Toro?
Yeah, I don't want no cocks. I don't need that. I'm sorry to the guys that like the asylums and all that. It's not my cup of tea. I'm sorry.
I find that when they're too big, they just don't. They don't carry the flavor well. Sometimes
it's a lot of filler.
One thing overtakes the rest of it, and some people like that. I guess they like the intensity.
I know dudes that swear by lunatics.
Yeah,
they love them.
Well, no. Here's the deal. So, just for everybody listening, the lunatic is 8x80, meaning that it's 8 inches. Maybe even no. It's about 8 inches and an 80 ring gauge, which is
Dude, I think
Big
it's
as
more
fuck.
like 10 to 12 inches.
Maybe it's whatever. It's ginormous.
It's
The most important part
ridiculous.
is it's an 80 ring gauge, which is honestly could break your fucking jaw. But
Yeah.
the thing is, they have a short one called the Short Titan, which I reviewed, and it's good.
Yeah, no, that's with the silver tinfoil.
Yeah, have you had that one?
Yeah, that's good. But
one's
that's
not
what
that bad.
is that a 60 ring gauge?
50, yeah, I think it's like a
It's
5
got to be
by
60.
60 or something.
It's got to be 60. They're not going to make small stuff. But JFR, is that JFR cigars?
That's right. That's
So
right.
they make cigars that are smaller. I've smoked
Yeah,
those.
they have.
Like the one with the red label I've smoked. It's like it's an off color. It almost. I'll bring it for you one day.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Doesn't ring
They
a
have
bell right now.
a couple of cigars that are not part of the lunatic family, and they're normal size cigars. Because the Cuban cigars, they don't make big ring gauges.
No, and that's fucking bullshit. I can't stand that. There's right now, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, but I've researched this, and I have yet to find any evidence of any main production 60 ring gauge Cuban cigar. Never.
58, I think, is the max.
59. They made this motherfuckers.
The Cohiba, right?
No.
Oh.
There's the Supremos. You're right, which is a 58. But then they made okay.
Too
so
expensive, by
there
the way.
Oh,
Sorry.
You want to hear expensive? Listen to this. This year, last year, whatever, this last Festival de Habanos, they have the festival every year in Cuba. So not only was it the 500-year anniversary of the city of Havana, it was also the 50th anniversary of Cohiba and the 50th anniversary of Trinidad. So what they did is they released, obviously, the 50th anniversary Cohiba,
Yeah.
and then they released the 50th anniversary Trinidad, which was a 59 by whatever, like 6 and some change. Okay, don't quote me on the length, but it was a 59 Bellicoso. So they're
Okay.
never going to give you the goddamn 60. They're just going to give you the 59. If you want the 60s, what you got to do is you got to go to Cuba. You got to find a reputable roller, and he has to do it for you. It's the only way to get it, honestly. I've seen 60 ring gauges, but like I said, no bands. They're not.
Honestly, it sounds like first world problems. I'll be honest with you.
Hey, well, listen. The deal is that here on the Johnny Mandolin show, when Artie's the host, we discuss only first world problems. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I want bigger ring gauges. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
My God, you blowjob hack.
All right, man. So listen, we're going to be rounding up. Before we go, I do want to just really quickly let you guys know where you can find us. So if you guys are looking for me, you guys want to see some of my reviews or some of the content I post, please check out Ashhole NYC. That's ASHHOLE NYC on Instagram, and you can check those. I do about 5 a week. Nino, tell them about where they can find you.
Dude, you can find me on Instagram, DJ Nino Brown NYC, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and like my boy Vic DiBattano says, your sister's ass.
So remember, if you guys need a DJ for any parties, weddings, anything, make sure to hit him up. He's definitely one of the best DJs here in the city.
Thank you, Ash.
Yeah. And
Thanks, man.
that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I had a great show. What'd you think? Would you come back?
Yeah, why not? I mean, listen, maybe if you pay me next time.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening here on City World Radio. Have a great night.
Peace.